Tradition has a server room. Behind the white clothes, quiet lawns, strawberries, champagne, and royal box polish, Wimbledon is running a hidden machine built for pressure. A tournament that looks frozen in time now depends on code, artificial intelligence, cloud systems, cybersecurity, live data, mobile infrastructure, and a digital operation built to survive millions of fans arriving at once. Wimbledon's old world image is protected by some of the newest technology in sport. Its website holds around 15,000 connected pages. Its app can explain a match while it unfolds. Its AI can watch momentum shift point by point. And one internal tool moved those 15,000 pages onto a new platform in just 47 minutes. But the real story is not the technology fans see. It is the technology they never notice. Wimbledon is 149 years old, and its business value is built on something fragile. Fans expect elegance, silence, grass, ceremony, and the feeling that nothing has changed too much. They want the future to arrive quietly, without touching the surface of the past. But modern sport no longer lives only in a stadium seat or on a television screen. It lives inside phones. That creates a brutal business problem. How does a heritage tournament reach hundreds of millions of people without making itself feel like a tech product? How does it personalize the experience without damaging the tradition? And how does it survive a yearly traffic explosion when quiet months suddenly become a global surge? That is the central tension inside Wimbledon's future. Since 1990, Wimbledon has worked with IBM to solve that problem. The partnership has lasted 36 years, and it has now been renewed toward 40 years. In sport, that is rare. Platforms change. Sponsors rotate. Executives chase the next shiny system. But Wimbledon and IBM built something slower, deeper, and far harder to replace. They built the tournament's invisible nervous system. The partnership began before most fans experienced sport online. In 1995, Wimbledon launched its first website. In 2009, it launched its first app. In 2017, artificial intelligence started entering the experience. Those dates revealed a real strategy. Wimbledon was not trying to become modern overnight. It was building digital layers carefully, almost invisibly, one upgrade at a time. Each new system had to serve the championship without stealing attention from it. Technology could not become the main character. That difference matters. A fan on the grounds may see grass courts, flower displays, polite cues, and a world that seems protected from time. A fan across the world may see scores, clips, player stories, match data, projections, and live explanations inside an app. Both experiences have to feel like Wimbledon. One is physical, one is digital. But the brand has to survive in both places. That is harder than it sounds. The digital platform is enormous. Around 15,000 pages sit inside the Wimbledon website, connected across players, draws, results, history, features, and live coverage. Modernizing that kind of platform is not like repainting a stadium wall. It is closer to moving a city while the streets still need to work. One IBM developer accelerator called Bob helped transfer all 15,000 pages onto the new platform in 47 minutes. 47 minutes. That number matters because time is money, but reliability is worth even more. A slow migration can create risk. A broken page can create confusion. A failure during the tournament can travel across the world in seconds. One error can go global. For Wimbledon, the website is not a side project. It is part of the event's commercial engine. It supports fans, media, players, broadcasters, sponsors, and the wider reputation of the championship. If it fails during a major match, the damage is not just technical. It becomes brand damage. That is why the quiet systems matter most. The most important technology at Wimbledon is not the flashiest feature. It is the part that lets everything else feel effortless. The newest layer is artificial intelligence, and it is not being used as a gimmick. It is being used to make tennis easier to follow at speed. One feature is called likelihood to win. Before a match, it creates a projection using rankings, player statistics, and performance data. But it also pulls from unstructured signals, including media discussion and social conversation. That means the system does not only read the official numbers. It listens to the noise, and in modern sport, that noise has value. A ranking tells one part of the story. Recent form tells another. Pressure, expectation, media attention, and the emotional weight around a player can shape how a match feels before the first ball is struck. This year, the projection has gone further. It can now update live as the match changes point by point. A percentage moves. A double fault lands at the wrong time. Momentum shifts. Suddenly, the model is not just describing the match before it begins. It is tracking the moment the story turns. That is powerful because tennis can change in seconds. A champion can look safe, then suddenly vulnerable. A lower-ranked player can lose a set, then seize control through one pressured rally. A match that seems predictable can become dangerous before the scoreboard fully explains why. AI helps mark the instant where the story bends. For commentators, it provides evidence. For fans, it creates a clearer emotional map. For the platform, it creates a reason to keep watching, tapping, checking, and returning. That is the business hidden inside the feature. Modern sports platforms are not only selling access to results, they are selling understanding. The more a fan understands, the longer they stay. The longer they stay, the more valuable the platform becomes. Then comes Match Chat. This feature works like an AI companion inside the app. A casual viewer can ask why a player is ranked a certain way. A serious fan can dig into head-to-head records. A newcomer can ask basic questions without feeling lost. Even pronunciation becomes useful because tennis draws athletes from across the world. One question can unleash the match. That matters because Wimbledon has a unique early round problem. During the first days, matches happen everywhere at once. Major names are spread across different courts. Upsets can begin quietly before the wider world notices. A fan cannot track every storyline manually. AI becomes the guide. It can point attention toward what matters. It can explain context without forcing the fan to search. It can turn a confusing wall of matches into a personal path through the tournament. That is retention. But the glamour hides the hardest problem, scale. For most of the year, Wimbledon's digital platforms may receive tens of thousands of visits per day. During the championships, that rises to millions and millions of users. The change is not gradual. It is a seasonal shock. The system has to absorb it. And for the team behind the scenes, the pressure does not begin on the first day of the main draw. It begins with qualifying. The first ball hit in qualifying is the real test, because simulations can never fully reproduce the live event. You can rehearse traffic, you can test feeds, you can stress the servers, but the moment sport becomes real, the machine is exposed. That is when theory ends. In the past, digital sports products were simpler because most fans received the same thing. Everyone saw similar pages, similar results, and similar updates. The future is different. Fans increasingly expect personalized journeys. One person wants player analysis. Another wants courtside atmosphere. Another wants live momentum. Another wants the fastest possible score. Another wants help understanding why a match suddenly matters. Personalization multiplies complexity. That means Wimbledon needs strong data foundations beneath the visible features. Scores, player profiles, match states, statistics, media feeds, and AI outputs all need to connect without delay. The fan only sees a clean screen. Underneath, the system is coordinating a live information chain under global pressure. There is no room for lag. The physical site has its own demands. Mobile infrastructure and Wi-Fi around the grounds are receiving significant investment over the next few years. That may sound ordinary, but it is now central to the live sports business. A fan on site is also a broadcaster, photographer, customer, navigator, and data user. The phone changed the stadium. Every photo shared from the grounds is promotion. Every clip sent to a friend is distribution. Every notification, map search, replay, and live score check becomes part of the event experience. The digital layer no longer sits outside the tournament. It walks through the gates with every fan. Security adds another layer. When millions of people flood a digital platform, every system becomes a target. IBM handles security for the championships and also handles security for NATO. That comparison reveals the seriousness of the operation. A sports website may look harmless, but at global scale, protection becomes a strategic necessity. The threat is invisible, the damage would be public, and the standard is unforgiving, because Wimbledon's entire promise depends on control. The courts can be calm, the interface can be elegant, the broadcast can feel polished. But behind that calm is a constant fight against overload, failure, and attack. For IBM, partnerships like this are also live laboratories. Wimbledon is not treated like a logo placement. It is a real operating environment where technology has to perform under scrutiny. Similar work appears across other sports and entertainment properties, including the Masters, Ferrari, and the US Open. Each one has different goals, audiences, and products. That difference is the test. A golf tournament does not behave like a tennis championship. A racing brand does not behave like a Grand Slam. A fantasy football product does not behave like a live match companion. IBM uses these settings to refine tools at scale before broader market use. Sport becomes research. One example is ESPN Fantasy Football, where fans interact with Watson-style predictions as if the technology were a personality. When a user starts treating AI as a trusted voice, the product has moved beyond utility. It has entered the fan relationship. That is where value grows. The hidden technology behind Wimbledon is not there to replace tradition. It is there to protect tradition from a modern audience that demands instant access, deeper context, flawless uptime, and personal relevance. That is the paradox. The more timeless the tournament looks, the harder the technology must work. The app must feel effortless. The website must not collapse. The AI must explain without distracting. The data must move instantly. The security must hold. And through all of it, Wimbledon must still feel like Wimbledon. That is the business lesson. Great sports brands do not survive by choosing between heritage and innovation. They survive by making innovation disappear into the heritage. The fan remembers the grass, the tension, the upset, the roar, and the match point. They remember the silence before the serve. They remember the gasp after the rally. They remember the feeling that Wimbledon somehow stayed untouched by time. But behind that memory, a machine was running. And if it worked perfectly, nobody noticed. That is the secret of modern tradition. The old world survives because the new world is working underneath it. Wimbledon looks timeless because its future is hidden in the walls.